you don't know, I am Mondi.
And I am Shauni.
That's right. And we've been married for over a decade, 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Yes. And today, this week we did a poll on our community page and we asked the question, is unconditional love real? 75% of you guys said yes. 25% said no.
Yeah.
The good news is unconditional love is real. With a caveat. When it comes to the romantic relationship, it is not
It
real.
is not real. It is a fairy tale.
Yes.
It is what it is, right?
That's harsh.
It's a fairy tale. I mean, it is what it is. It's reality. I think the sooner people realize this, the better relationships will be.
Yeah.
Right? Because look, unconditional love, the very meaning of it
Yeah.
means love without boundaries.
Sure.
Okay? A love that cannot be diluted.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you have ever been in a relationship in your life or not. But in relationships, people have boundaries.
That's right.
Okay? There is certain things that people can do in relationships that can cross your boundaries and can dilute your love for them.
Sure.
Okay? It might be cheating. It might be lying. It might be controlling. It might be abusive behavior.
Sure.
Whatever your boundary is, there are boundaries
Sure.
within a relationship.
Yes.
Right? So it cannot stand the idea of unconditional love. It is absolutely, indeed, conditional.
It is conditional. You think about it. If you guys ever had an ex that you once loved, right? You loved them, she was in love with you, but y'all no longer together.
Yeah.
You were in love with conditions because otherwise you'd still be together.
Right.
You still love them.
Right.
Or maybe you do.
Huh? That's why y'all be cutting up, acting crazy, spying on people, jumping out of folks' bushes and keying cars.
Not key and cars.
Y'all be doing some crazy stuff.
Yes.
Break up with somebody and then go crazy.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell.
Yeah.
When somebody have attitudes and stuff and cutting up like that, you can tell they still love them.
Yeah.
That's what that is. But yeah, if either that or you didn't love them at all. Either they love them with conditions or didn't love them at all.
Right. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
You never know. I mean, unconditional love. People say they want to love unconditionally until that love is tested.
There's no such thing.
Once that love is tested, then you're like, oh.
Unconditional is unconditional.
Right.
No matter what.
Right.
That's what unconditional is. No matter what.
Right.
Okay? Now you might say to yourself, these people have been married for over a decade.
That's right.
They must be unhappy if they don't believe in unconditional love.
Well, on the contrary, we are happy. And it's because we understand that love is conditional.
Yes.
And that there are boundaries.
Yes.
I don't have to be with her. She doesn't have to be with me. But we choose to be together.
That might sound harsh. But that is the reality of this thing.
We choose to be together.
We choose to be together. Okay? It's no other way. And everybody that has ever been in a romantic relationship chooses.
Yes.
Okay? Unconditional love is not like that. Unconditional love is not, I love you for who you are. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's called acceptance. Okay? Not unconditional love.
Yes.
Right? And for us, choosing, not only do we choose to be together, not only are we together because we do love each other, but we are together also because our wants, our needs, and desires are so closely aligned.
That's right.
That it would be difficult to find another person. You know how hard it is
Man, look.
to find somebody whose feelings, needs, wants, and desires are so closely intertwined.
Values, everything lined up.
Right.
You got to start all over
You,
again and hope that they telling you the truth.
Listen, who has been in relationships here?
Exactly.
Who has exes
Raise your
here?
hand.
Okay? Who knows how hard it is to find a person that's like 90-10?
Right.
That's how we are.
Right.
Ours is like 90-10 of everything that we want.
Exactly.
Okay? Now you tell me how hard that is to find out here in these streets.
It is, man. It's hard because you have to really spend time with somebody to figure out whether or not if this is the person for you, if this is the person who you're going to get that 90 from.
Yeah.
80 or 75. I mean,
Good God.
man, look, everybody talking about 50-50.
Child, 50, in this case, 50% of your wants, needs, and desires are met. Somebody cheats.
Somebody cheat. And...
Or somebody is out the door.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
It's I think people confuse unconditional love with like maybe unconditional support. I support you.
Right.
I
Right.
support you. You know, if something don't happen, you know, something go awry, I got your back.
Right. I get that. Yeah. Like you unconditionally supporting me. You get what I'm saying? You unconditionally come to the house and see that my house and my dishes is dirty and you say that's okay.
That's right.
I love you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's
They
it.
support you and it's unconditional support is what it is. That was a good one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean because you just can't you can't have it both ways.
No.
I think when people learn
Yeah.
that love has conditions, I think relationships would last a whole lot longer.
Yes.
And I say that because when you realize, like how we do, when you realize that this person's love has conditions because they have boundaries. And if I cross these boundaries, it is a very strong chance that they will leave me.
Yes.
Okay? So then people will start to think twice when they do stuff. Because when you tell a person, I love you unconditionally, in their minds, no matter what happens, no matter what I do, this person is still going to be with me. So it allows them to think, well, you know, if I cheat, they said they love me unconditionally. So I think I'll be all right.
No.
What if I go out and just, kill somebody? I can come back to the house.
No.
They love me unconditional. They ain't gonna tell nobody. Nigga, I'm not going to jail. I'm sorry. Did I say
You about to snap.
I ain't not going to jail for you.
You ain't ride or die like that?
Man, listen to me.
She ain't ride or die.
I ain't ride or die. I'm not riding or dying. Sorry, not happening. If you are crazy enough to go out there and do something to mess up our family, to cause yourself to go to jail, I ain't riding or dying.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, you can't. You can't put yourself in that position.
No.
I think, like you said, it is kind of fantasy because people really want to believe that someone could love them like that.
Yeah.
And, I think people want that.
It's the
though.
fairy tale. It's the
People
fairy
want
tale.
that.
It's the fairy tale idea.
They want that. And they want to know that someone loves them that deeply.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting
No.
love that deeply.
No.
But the fact of the matter is we're dealing with humans.
Yes.
And people are faulty. They have faults and they will let you down
They will.
at some point or another, which
Yes.
will test your unconditional love theory.
Correct.
And
Correct.
at some point you'll realize, damn, there is a limit to my love.
There is a limit. I mean, it's not romantic, right? But that's how it is. And like I said, because we understand this,
Yeah.
it allows us both to put more effort into the relationship.
Yes.
Make more of an effort to not cross boundaries, right? Because we don't want to jeopardize the relationship.
That's right.
And if you understand that there's conditions, I think people will do a lot more thinking before they do it.
Sure.
Okay? Okay, another thing is with unconditional love, another meaning is loving without expectation of anything in return. Okay? Now, like for instance, like a lady's pregnant. She goes into labor. The doctor says push, push, push. She's in pain. She's doing all this, and that. But as soon as they put that baby in her arms, everything just disappears. Like nothing happened, and she's immediately in love. And she knows from that moment that she will love that child no matter what. They don't have to give her a single solitary thing or a dime. Okay? So when you're talking about unconditional love, and the meaning of it is loving without the expectation of anything in return, don't nobody go into a romantic relationship expecting nothing in return.
No.
That means you don't expect no love in return. You don't expect no monogamy in return. You don't expect no sex in return. You don't expect no gifts in return. Right. You don't expect no you expect nothing in return.
That's deep there. Boy.
And nobody goes into a romantic relationship feeling that way.
No, that's foolish. It's foolish to even think that somebody would.
Yeah.
And when you put it like that, most people will be like, yeah, I mean, if that's a part of the definition, then I can see that part.
Yeah.
But ultimately, people still, in the back of their mind, they want that because it's like, you got someone's got your back.
Yeah, but somebody has your back. What I'm saying
is, no matter what they do.
Yeah, well, see, now that's the part now.
No matter what.
Now see, that's the part now. That's the part right there. Okay, because there's boundaries. Okay, you're not gonna be wanting to deal with the rest of your life somebody slapping you upside your head and say, "But I love them unconditionally. I said I wouldn't leave. I said I wouldn't go nowhere. I said, who? That for me, for number one, they ain't loving you unconditionally, in my opinion, because love should not hurt.
No, love should never hurt.
Not hurt. You might hurt somebody's feelings, but I'm talking about hurt.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
You'll feel hurt.
Yeah.
Emotionally, maybe, but from certain things that go on, and that's part of the love process. But again, that doesn't make it unconditional.
Right.
You still feel hurt, you still feel pain, you still feel love, and you still want to support. And I think, again, going back to that, that's what that is. It's like, I want to support this person.
Yes.
And some people take the unconditional love thing to heart, where they allow themselves to be hurt, allow themselves to be abused, allow themselves to be neglected, allow themselves to be overlooked and, not thought of as an equal. And so part of that is a lot of people's thinking.
Absolutely.
And they bought into that whole idea of unconditional love and not getting anything in return.
Absolutely. Let me just tell you this, like, to just go off what you were just saying right now. I don't want folks to get into that mindset. I said I wouldn't leave them. Don't you never tell nobody you wouldn't leave them. You heard what I said? Come close. Put the phone to your ear. Don't you never tell nobody that you won't leave them. You are setting yourself up for nonsense, foolery, and failure.
And
okay?
A lot of times that happens in the heat. When you're in the heat and you're in the midst of it, and he or she whispering in your ear, "I'll never leave you."
Lies. That's how they mess around and get you pregnant. And then get you pregnant, and then they, who baby's that? But I ain't none of my baby. I heard you been fooling around. Come on now.
Fooling around.
That was old, wasn't it?
That was real old. You been fooling around. Messing around with Jody.
Fooling around. Well, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I done earned these stripes.
That's
you understand?
That's right.
But yeah, I don't want people to get wrapped up in the thought. So that when people are being nasty to you and ugly to you or mistreating you or being toxic, you said, you stuck in the idea and you told them that you would never leave them, that you would love them unconditionally. No, that's crazy.
Can't make that promise.
Don't make that promise. It's crazy because we're human beings. Okay?
That's right.
Please. Let me just say this. We love each other. Very much.
Yes.
Okay? We understand that love is conditional, and I'm going to say it again. I think that because we understand it, we make a conscious effort to not cross each other's boundaries and to treat each other better within the relationship.
You have to work harder.
You got to work harder. Now, I'm not talking about, like I said, not a full-time job, right? But you have to not be lackadaisical. You can't, there's no more romance. There's no more thinking about them. You expect them to do this, and then you don't give anything in return. We both add to the relationship because we understand that there's conditions. We understand that we don't have to be together. And we understand the connection that we have is extremely hard to find.
That's right.
Okay, so why would you want to ruin it, right? So I think that people should consider the fact, don't consider. Know the fact that love is conditional and it is okay. Okay? All right, so listen, I know when you get into the honeymoon phase, whether it's a new relationship or a new marriage, you feel like, no, this is unconditional. This is, no one could ever tear us apart. This is, our love is unconditional. And you really feel like that. But let me just say this. I'm not trying to really bust your bubble, but it's a feeling.
That's all it is.
Okay?
It's just a feeling.
It's a feeling. And feelings change based on the flow of the relationship.
Sure.
Okay? But I'm going to let you feel the feeling. But I just want, let Auntie tell you something real quick. It is a feeling. Okay? And the feeling go up and down and they change. It ebbs and flows. Okay? Because the relationship, the flow of the relationship ebbs and flows.
Yes.
So you might feel like, oh my God, for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years straight. Then all of a sudden, stuff start changing a little bit. You're like, whoa, wait, what happened to the fairy tale?
Right.
And then the feeling of unconditional love changes.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that you won't love each other still. It just means you guys have to go through stuff. That is the normal process of relationships.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, and you got to work at it. You got to keep those things, you got to keep certain things in line that are going to help move the relationship forward. Because like you said, there's going to be times where it's going to ebb and flow.
Yeah.
There's going to be times where you're in and out of love. He or she may do something that you don't like.
Yeah.
That'll really get on your nerves, and you didn't even realize that was a deal breaker for you.
Yeah.
But you're married to him now.
Yeah.
Or you're in the relationship now.
Strong in it.
It's strong. So now something happens, and now that thing is tested. That love is tested.
Yes.
And so now you got to really, take a look at yourself and look at the relationship of the unit and say, dang, is this really unconditional?
Unconditional love. It's just not a thing. Okay, not for romantic.
It's hard, guys, to keep that.
Not for romantic love. Okay, and then also it put too much pressure on people.
Yes, it does.
When you put that expectation of unconditional love, that's a lot of pressure for a person. And a lot of pressure create diamonds, but it also creates explosions.
It also bust pipes.
Okay, all right. So don't put that type of pressure on somebody to love you unconditionally, because we're human beings.
Yes.
We're flawed. I wasn't born with you, so I don't have I met you.
Right.
Okay, so that means my love has to grow for you. Okay, and if my love had to grow for you, it can also die.
True. It is true. At some point, something's going to happen. It's going to change in the relationship, and that's going to be the test line. That's going to be the threshold. Your threshold, and you won't know until you cross that threshold.
Yeah.
And then you won't be conscious of the fact, or maybe you will be conscious of the fact that, okay, my love is being tested right now.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll make the unconscious or conscious decision to stay with it in spite of what's going on, or maybe you'll make the unconscious decision to go elsewhere.
Right, but either way though, when you start feeling down in the relationship, when you start feeling like, ugh, I don't really like this anymore, I don't want to be in this, even if you do stay, that is love that is diluted. which is still conditional love, and not unconditional.
True.
Undiluted means it doesn't change.
Doesn't change. Doesn't change.
You get what I'm saying?
Doesn't change. And doubt doesn't creep in, but doubt always creeps
Always. Always. That's just the nature of it. That's just the nature of human beings. That's the nature of relationships. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, guys. It has been a lovely, lovely talk.
What time is it? Is it time? Yep.
Yeah. It's been a lovely, lovely talk. We wanted to talk to you about that because a lot of people don't really talk about unconditional love. And like I said, this is a thing that we discussed. Mm-hmm. And we talked about it and we agreed. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that he didn't think about it before.
I didn't.
And then I talked to him about it, and he was like, and I gave him my point. He was like, that's dead on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not something you really think about.
Yeah.
Until the subject is brought up. You know, because most people don't consciously think about unconditional love.
Sure. But
you be really means.
Yes, but you be in the throes of it, like you said, or all romanticizing hand in hand, looking in each other's eyes, and like, no, you won't leave me, will you? No, I'll never leave you. Don't do that. I won't leave you as long as you don't do nothing crazy.
Exactly. With a caveat.
Exactly. Okay, guys, it has been real. We will see you next Thursday.
Are we?
Yeah, because
Christmas?
No, Christmas Eve is Friday.
Okay.
So we'll do a live on Thursday.
Okay.
And we will see you then. Be there or be square.